Welcome to this episode of Door Hardware Nerds. I'm your host, Mia Merril. Today, I'm joined by Tyler Baker. Tyler, please introduce yourself.
Thanks for having me, Mia. Hi, everybody. I'm Tyler Baker. I'm the Director of Business Development for Glass and Aluminum Solutions here at ASSA ABLOY. I live just outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I've been with ASSA ABLOY a little over 12 years. I started at Rockwell Manufacturing. I work for our Door Security Solutions group. And in 2019, I decided to come on over to the glass side. So we've been focused on the glass and glazing industry for about 6 years now. So thanks for having me.
All right, Tyler. So you are business development for glass. What is new in the glass industry?
Yeah, so a lot. If you talk about what my team does and what we focus on, there's two different types of doors. In the glass industry, we've got the all glass doors. They go by a lot of names: Herculite, all glass, heavy glass, frameless glass. So we focus on those, and then we focus on the aluminum storefront opening. So a lot of the doors that if you're going into a retail setting or really any exterior of any major building is typically going to have a storefront aluminum door in it. So that's the things that we focus on. As far as trends, what we're seeing in the industry, if you look at call it the glass side, the all glass or Herculite style doors, we're seeing a lot of folks wanting to go with more glass, so bigger glass doors, less metal, which is great, but obviously it comes with its own complications. You gotta hang that door, you gotta secure that door, you gotta make sure that it swings and everybody can use it. And then on top of that, everybody wants to put access control on those doors too. So that adds in its own complications. So that's probably the biggest trend that we see on the glass side is the functionality of those glass doors, but also keeping them aesthetically pleasing for the buildings because they really do. They look fantastic.
Mm.
And then moving on to the storefront side, I'd say the biggest thing we're seeing today would be security. You see a lot of those aluminum storefront type doors. They're on the exteriors of schools. So there's a lot of conversation going on, and there's a lot of things in regards to regulation and code and standards that are driving, how those doors are made. What's the glass make of it? Does it have a laminate type of glass type of option for the glass, within that door? So I would say that's probably the biggest topic, and we're glad to see that, obviously, because you and I have young kids, Mia, so it's a pretty big deal for us to be able to put a door that you can stand behind, no pun intended, but in a school or somewhere else, a workplace, things like that. And aside from security, there's a ton of other things. You get a lot of functionality with with aluminum storefront doors. So whether it be energy efficiency or if you're on the coast, there's a lot of impact type doors for hurricane impact reasons, being able to protect folks from flying objects and things along that line. So a lot of if I had to say the trend for those types of aluminum storefront doors would really be that specialty type door that not the one that's going to be in a downtown retail type sector, but really like the types of doors that are being put on institutions. So those are probably the biggest things. We're always going to see different trends in regards to color and aesthetics just based off of what's kind of going on out in the market. But those are really the big things that we see out there today. So
Yeah, we're definitely seeing an uptick in the institutional aluminum, right? I mean, hospitals aren't going up anymore without at least a whole curtain wall there. And, it helps with the daylighting and the other energy efficiency that you said. So, but yeah, it's like now finally coming full circle into that school security or security and stuff like that. So I think it's a good evolution for this space, I think.
absolutely, without a doubt.
Yeah. So what are we seeing as some of the biggest hurdles for this part of the industry?
Yeah, so I think I touched on it earlier in regards to having making sure that the products that are going out into the market are going to work with what the architects and ultimately the end users are going to want as far as look. So that's probably I would say number one. The other thing is we're seeing a lot of the industry veterans kind of leaving. So a lot of their knowledge is leaving with them. So right now, what we're trying to do is we're trying to capture all of that to make sure that whenever we provide products out in the market, and not just us, our competitors too, they're doing the same things. Is we need to make sure that the people that are responsible for whether it be applying hardware or installing the doors themselves, making sure that they're trained properly and they're going to put an opening out in the market that's going to be safe for everyone, and it's going to work and people don't have to worry, when you walk through a door, it should be a thoughtless thing and you shouldn't have to even worry about that where people like us, we think about it every day, but as far as the normal person just going into a hospital or a kid going into a school, it should be a seamless thing that they shouldn't have to worry about. So uh, making sure we have that next generation of whether it be installers or even project managers to make sure that buildings are going to flow correctly in regards to egress and making sure that they're putting the right hardware on that's going to work for X door, right? That's a big topic that's going on right now. So we're seeing more training, and that's something that my team spends a lot of time doing, and we're going to continue to do moving forward, working out in the glass and glazing space. So
Yeah. I think the whole door opening industry as a whole, right, is seeing that knowledge drain because we are as an old industry, right? One of the oldest because we've had doors for decades and centuries now. I think it's an issue that everybody is facing, and how do we overcome it? I know you said training. I can't think of another way, right? We just have to be feet on the street out there educating all the time.
yeah,
And to
100%.
yeah, to your other point, I always say if we've done our job right, when you're going through a door, you don't think of us at all, right? That's that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Right.
So, yeah, it's a challenging time right now, but I think the industry is poised to take that challenge on, right? That's the only thing we can do.
For sure.
All right, Tyler, it was great talking to you today. Come back for part two where we continue our conversation.